Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Larry, and this is Dad, What's for Dinner, a stay-at-home dad's guide to home cooking. And today we're going to be taking care of our four-legged friends again. I'm running out of the dog food that I make them, so I thought y'all would like to tag along as I make more for them. Go ahead and throw the disclaimer out there. Again, I'm not a vet. I'm not a pet nutritionist. So anytime, this works for my dogs, but you'd want to consult your vet before you make any changes to your dog's diet. Or any food that you're actually giving them. With that being said, my older dog, if y'all remember from the pet treat videos, Hermes, the big dog, he's got some allergies, and we have to be very selective in the food that we buy. And making this whole food for him gives him a wide range and variety of things in addition to the special kibble that we buy him. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. So we're going to start off with two, this is like fist-sized sweet potatoes, and we need to dice those up through the magic of YouTube editing. The next thing you need are two good-sized apples, again, about fist size. We want to go ahead and core these and chop them, it's rough chop. So we'll go ahead and do that right. And there we go. So we go ahead and chop that up. Okay, so we're going to start adding our ingredients to the pot, and the recipe's online. But the first thing you want to do is you want to add in the items that we just chopped up. We're going to start with the apples. And you're going to need a pretty large stock pot to do this. All said and done, this is going to make about 20-ish pounds of food. So after the apples, we're going to get two 12-ounce bags of frozen carrots. After the carrots, we're going to do two 12-ounce bags of frozen green beans. And could you do fresh? Sure, you could. It's just this is a lot easier and a lot less time consuming, a lot less prep involved. And then we're going to do two 12-ounce bags of frozen broccoli. Then we're going to do our sweet potatoes. And then we have approximately 5 cups of just regular spinach. And again, you can buy the spinach yourself and clean it and all that, but I'm just using the bag. And then we're going to do an entire 16-ounce bag of brown rice. Just pour that in. And then the next part, we're going to add the ground beef. Now, you can get your dog whatever kind of ground beef you want to use for this. I use the 80/20 because it's not super expensive, but it's not. If you use like the 70/30, it's just too greasy. And you'll notice I'm just breaking this up because you can't just put a big honking log. So it doesn't have to be fancy cuts from the butcher. This is just from the local grocery store. I mean, if you wanted to go to your butcher, you could. I guess it really depends on how much you want to spend. And I don't really have a cost breakdown on this because I suppose I could sit down and figure it out, but when I go shopping, I don't necessarily go shopping specifically for dog food ingredients. So if I had to guess, I would say we're probably in the neighborhood of about $50. And this pot that I'm making will last my 2 dogs about a month. I divvy it up into 1-gallon Ziplocs that I keep in the freezer, and then thaw out as needed. I feed the big dog probably about 3/4 of a cup of this, and the little dog about a 1/4 cup of this, in addition to their kibble when I feed them. So, again, just reiterating, when you start talking about, well, how much do I feed my dog, you would need to talk to your vet and, look at, there's a lot of reasons to cook your dog's whole food. We just, like I said, our big guy has some allergies that, we have to be aware of. And some of the so-called allergenic foods, don't necessarily have like the grains. Dogs are just like people. They need grains. Well, they're not just like people, but you know what I mean. There's all this push for, grain-free dog food, and dogs need a variety in their diet just like we do. So that's my 2 cents worth. Like I said, I'm not a pet nutritionist or a vet. I'm going to finish this so y'all don't have to listen to me ramble on, but I'll be back after I get the rest of the beef ground up in there. Okay, so we got all that beef crumbled up in there. Next thing you want to do is add 3 cups of just regular tap water. And next part isn't absolutely necessary, but I also usually add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and that's just to give them some of that oil and a little bit of flavor. So we'll get that all on there. So you go ahead and start the stove, and we want to wait for the water to come up to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, we'll cover the pot and simmer it and let it cook for a while. And then we'll be back. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell, but the water is boiling. So once you get it to this point, you want to go ahead and put your lid on. And you want to lower it down so that it'll simmer. And you give it about 45 minutes to an hour just till the rice is cooked through. And you're going to want to check it periodically and give it a stir. Okay, we'll see you in about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, so we keep checking it. Keep stirring it. I don't know how well the camera is picking this up with all the steam and everything, but the meat's getting cooked. The rice is getting tender. It's still got a little bit ways to go, but you just keep checking it. And put the lid back on and check it again. Okay, so we're to the point now where the meat's pretty well cooked and the rice is tender. So, yeah. So I don't know how well it's picking it up on the camera, but you can see this is still pretty juicy. So what we're going to do to soak up all that extra liquid is we're going to add minced in oatmeal. And I just use the whole thing. And we'll give that a good mix. Make sure all that oatmeal gets well incorporated. And then we'll turn the heat off and put the lid back on. And then let that cool off a little bit so that we can, what I'll end up doing next is spreading this out on sheet trays so that it can actually cool off to the point where I can go ahead and bag it up. So we'll see you then. Okay, so now we've got it all emptied out of the pan, and we have it on sheet trays to cool. And we want this to come down to room temperature before we bag it up. And then we'll back it up and put it in the freezer. So here we are, the end product that's ready to go into the freezer. We ended up with just over 17 pounds of food. And like I said, that'll last me about a month with my 2 dogs. Nope. So as you can see, the dogs are really enjoying this. They love their food. It's a highlight of their day. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share the video, and I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or anything, you want to ask me some questions, or you want me to see things that you'd like to see on the channel, go ahead and drop me a comment. We'll see you next time.